Tiffany Teflon Tahoe is back in the news. Fox 32 Chicago, take a look.
A South suburban politician under fire for the way she spends tax dollars has come up with a, well, let's say a unique strategy to discourage people from running against her.
She is proposing a nearly 90% cut in her position's salary, but only if she is not filling it.
That's right. Our Dane Placco investigates the latest controversy surrounding Dalton Mayor and Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard.
At this point, I don't know how anybody can defend this lady. For the most part, all of her online supporters disappeared like the money she's spending up in Dalton and Thornton Township, because each day it's getting worse. I told you in the beginning, it's so much corruption here. I've only reported about 10% of it so far. It's much more here. This woman is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And don't worry, in time, you will know everything. Just know I'm not the one to run around making up stories on the lady or just repeating what other people said. I'm double checking, triple checking, and bringing context to everything. All of this being fair to the community as well as Tiffany Tahoe, while also holding her accountable. Well, for the longest I've been telling you that this criminal is robbing Dalton blind, and she's also robbing Thornton Township. But today we're going to get into the latest drastic measure that she's taking to maintain power and stay in that position where she has even more access to taxpayer money than Dalton. The mayor/supervisor pushed an emergency bill through to cut the salary of her supervisor position if an opponent took her seat. Get this, if she won the next election for Thornton Township supervisor, her salary will remain at $224,000. But if her opponent is victorious, or if somehow she found her way out of office, then the next supervisor would have to work for almost $200,000 less if the citizens decided to boot her out. But if they voted her back in office, her salary would stay the same at $224,000. So Tiffany Tahoe, the super city girl mayor, won't work for $25,000, but she's sabotaging her opponent by making them sign up to work for $25,000. I'll get into the details and also give you more insight on how she was able to make this happen. But first, take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates.
Did you know about this beforehand?
No, absolutely not. No word was given to myself.
Thornton Township trustee Chris Gonzalez was just sitting down at the start of the township's board meeting 2 weeks ago when he was handed a 7-page proposed ordinance requiring an immediate vote.
You had no time to read it.
No, and then we get pretty much into the meeting pretty quick.
Leading that meeting, Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who also doubles as the mayor of Dalton.
Hey guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany A. Henyard, the people's mayor.
Henyard is certainly charismatic, often bringing a DJ to board meetings to help her make a point.
Pay me what you owe me.
But she's also controversial, spending tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars to promote herself with billboards and purchase first-class tickets for out-of-town trips, using public employees and vehicles to promote her personal charity, and taking Dalton officers off the street to create a personal security detail that's resulted in thousands of hours of overtime. But back to that ordinance, which passed without Gonzalez's support.
But they're like, I can't believe this. How could someone do that?
What it does is to ensure that Henyard continues to receive her $224,000 a year salary as township supervisor. But if a non-incumbent becomes supervisor, in other words, if someone challenges Henyard and beats her, the salary for that position drops to just $25,000 a year, a pay cut of nearly 90%.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
If this is an abuse of power and illegal, I don't know what is. Current salary is 10 times more, no exaggeration, 10 times more than what she's changing it to if the citizens booted her out. And for those wondering how did she get elected for this position, this woman was not elected as supervisor of Thornton Township. She didn't even know what the job was or her duties. She just knew that the pay was about 4 or 5 times more than her salary as Dalton's mayor. And she would go from not only controlling a small village, but she will be over an entire township that includes 17 villages and towns. That will mean more recognition, more people to control, and more money to have access to. Remember Tiffany Tahoe? She's got 2 public positions. The mayor of Dalton, where she was voted in after an election against other janky politicians, and then the supervisor position of Thornton Township was basically given to her overnight. But during the next election, first off, she's going to have to run next time, and she's going to be facing a challenger. And that's why she's doing what she's doing right now. She's trying to sabotage her opponents.
Trustee Gonzalez says it's a political poison pill to scare off competition.
Discourage people from running is probably the first thing that comes to mind.
Is this legal?
No, it's so illegal in so many ways.
Municipal Attorney Bert Odelson, who represents Henyard's political opposition in Dalton, says under equal protection of the law, the salaries of elected officials have to be identity blind, meaning they don't change based on the person holding the job.
It's maybe the worst attempt to try to dissuade people from running that I've ever seen, and that's a long time.
Henyard isn't facing re-election until 2025, but already potential competitors are circling despite the drastically lower salary, including State Senator Napoleon Harris. But if Henyard is re-elected, she'll continue making the $224K, even if she seems to believe the job is worth a fraction of that.
I think this is a job that should pay over $200,000 or $25,000.
I mean, probably somewhere in the middle, in all honesty.
The ordinance also lowers the salaries of other elected positions in the township, but again, only if someone new wins the job. It will likely stand as a curiosity, the only elected positions with 2 different salaries until someone inevitably files a lawsuit. Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
Important to note here, a spokesperson for Thornton Township declined to comment on this story.
And that spokesperson declined to comment because Tiffany Teflon Tahoe and Keith Henchman Freeman ordered them not to speak to the media or else they will be fired. They are both running Thornton Township identical to how they're running the village of Dalton. And there's not much opposition on the Board of Trustees in Thornton Township because she's got most of them in her pocket. We're talking about the same board that she appointed the Section 8 waitress to because she was loyal to her. Remember City Girl Carmen?
Ignorant old people. Respect is something that's earned. It ain't something that's just given because you 100 years old. Can you be quiet, please? Ooh. No, exactly.
Okay, Chief.
Enough.
Okay, and I do too.
Enough.
And I do
Enough.
too. Be quiet. Disrespectful. Ignorant. You see what I'm saying? But Andrew Holmes, you are a super loyal person. You are a super loyal person, and I commend you. I do. You a clown. Look what you got on.
Yes, that woman right there is the one she took from the restaurant and made her a runner. She's the mayor's assistant in Dalton. First, Tiffany was appointed as supervisor when the township's longtime supervisor passed away. And then when a longtime trustee died in Thornton Township, Tiffany Tahoe appointed Carmen as a trustee. So that's how you got these 2 Project Hood rats over in Thornton. And now they both think they're above the people.
I'm also the supervisor of Thornton Township. So when do I have time for little people? I don't. They beneath me.
Please understand the reason for having Carmen and the other trustees supporting her in Thornton in position is for Tiffany Tahoe to maintain dominance over Thornton Township and have the power to do whatever she wants.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Can't stop, won't stop Super City Girl Mayor Tiffany Tahoe, the self-proclaimed most powerful woman in the Southland of Chicago. She's getting paid nearly $300,000 per year, holding 2 political offices and draining the bank accounts and credit cards in both positions. This woman is desperately attempting to hold on to power and outright sabotaging the next person to take her position. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. The city girl mayor thinks she's untouchable and she's walking around like she can't be held accountable for her crimes. She's keeping the folks distracted by holding all these events, parties, talent shows, and giving away food and presents. Do you think that's enough to keep these people asleep long enough to get her reelected in Thornton Township in Dalton? You tell me, let me know what you think below. Shout out to Christine, Marlon, Richard, Creed, and Leon. I appreciate all of you for your support. Don't forget that you can support this channel as well. Links to Cash App and PayPal are below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.